Stugotz here for 1-800-Flowers. Let's be real. If your big Mother's Day surprise consists of one well-crafted text message, you need to go back to the drawing board ASAP. Moms deserve more than just emojis. Do it right this year and celebrate Mom with this special limited-time offer from 1-800-Flowers.com. Right now, you can take care of all the mothers on your list. 1-800-Flowers will give you 24 multicolored roses plus a free vase for just $29.99. It's an incredible offer that Mom would approve of. With a bright and beautiful mix of premium roses in a rainbow of colors, these blooms are guaranteed to make her smile. Multicolored roses are the perfect way to surprise all the moms in your life. Wife, aunt, sister, grandma. These breathtaking roses from 1-800-Flowers are picked at their peak and shipped overnight to ensure freshness. 24 multicolored roses plus a free vase for just $29.99 is an amazing offer. But hurry, because it expires Thursday. Just pick your delivery date, and 1-800-Flowers will handle the rest. Don't put this off, guys. I'm telling you, order today from 1-800-Flowers.com. It's what Mom would want you to do. To order 24 multicolored roses plus a free vase for just $29.99. Simple. Go to 1-800-Flowers.com. Click the radio icon. Enter code Dan. That's 1-800-Flowers.com, code Dan. But you better hurry. The offer ends Thursday. Stugotz here for Dell. There's nothing small about your business. It takes a lot of hard work, and it makes a huge difference. As a thank you, during Small Business Month, Dell is offering up to 40% off select PCs with 8th Gen Intel Core processors, plus get a free external hard drive with select PC purchases. Simple to get. Call 877-BUY-DELL to speak with a small business technology advisor today. That's 877-BUY-DELL. One more time. Check them out today. It's 877-BUY-DELL.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz podcast.
We'll get to sports in a second. Chris Paul did things last night that Stugotz wants him to do in the next round, and the round after that. Do it in the next round, Chris Paul, even though the next round has not started yet.
Right.
Do it in the next round. But Chris Paul goes crazy last night and finishes Utah. Before we get to that, though, I've just got a question. As technology changes, as you have more ability to get at everything in terms of advancement, Bezos is going to create a commerce system at some point where drones are just flying into your house with your packages. As we can do all of that, why can we not make a leaf blower that's quiet? I came in here today, I'm walking along the beach, and there are 3 people with leaf blowers, and they are making more noise than the garbage trucks that are taking in trash. And I'm like, how is it possible that in 2018 we can't make a quiet leaf blower? Is it that the engine required to blow at that speed makes it that it can't be quiet? Like, I don't understand how Bezos hasn't figured this one out for us yet. Because all of you are annoyed by being woken by these leaf blowers, aren't you? This is
absolutely.
On your weekends or whenever it is, these leaf blowers are all, Guillermo, put it on the poll. Is the leaf blower a national menace? A national morning time menace?
The quietest leaf blower on the market is the Echo leaf blower. It generates only 65 decibels. I am with you on this, though, because the leaf blower, yes, gets me every single weekend, and it terrifies my dog. Like, my dog hears that thing, and he is barking it all the time.
I just don't think in 2018 we have something that's less technologically advanced than the leaf blower. What am I looking for here? I'm just looking for something that blows leaves. Let me do it the loudest way possible.
That's that whole gas-powered leaf blower thing, man. People can't shake it. There are electric leaf blowers out there that are far quieter, but people just won't stay away.
Leaf blowers are also an advancement in technology that are not more efficient, because leaf blowers, you can't really control where the leaves are going, so you're just spreading a mess. A rake is a lot more efficient when collecting leaves.
I love a good rake.
And by the way, leaf blowers are also very inconsiderate, because if it's just grass that you're just blowing it into your neighbor's yard or into the street or whatever. You're just blowing it out of your thing, so it's not your problem anymore.
The leaf blower is selfish.
Yeah, the leaf blower is the most selfish of the tools.
Well, wait a second. Don't you use the leaf blower to organize the leaves? Put them in one general vicinity, and then you rake them into a bag. That's what you're supposed to do, right?
Them into a bag? Are you the one putting them in a bag?
I'm not saying
I know someone might be putting it in a bag. That's Mother Nature's problem. I'm putting it in a bag.
If you can control where leaves go while using a leaf blower, you deserve a Medal of Honor.
I want to know the origins of the leaf blower. I want to know what kind of industry this has been, what kind of business this has been, because somebody came up with this idea whenever they came up with it, and I don't think the version we have today is any better than that version.
It's like when your mom tells you to clean up your room, and all you do is just put everything in the closet.
Yeah.
Or
That's
in
what the leaf
corner.
blower does.
That's what. Yeah.
Not even. It's like if your mom told you to clean up your room and you just grab things, you threw one in this direction, another in that direction. You just spread out the mess
But
so it looks
loudly,
less messy.
but
Yeah,
loudly, not
like you're just
quietly.
yelling. Ah!
That's right.
It's a leaf blower.
That's right.
So I think the problem here is the leaf blower is relatively new. It was invented by a gentleman named Dom Quinto in the 1950s, late 1950s. So there hasn't really been enough time to make the serious advancements on that particular thing that you want.
You know why? You know why it was invented only recently? Because the rake was perfect. The rake was more than fine.
That's a good tool. Yeah. Rake's a great tool.
You guys think that you want to rank the rakes? You want to rank the tools?
I mean, rake is essentially an outdoor broom, right?
Yeah.
But there are
exactly
outdoor
what it is.
brooms too. So now
There
this is
are outdoor
confusing.
brooms.
The push. Oh, those are such badass brooms.
Oh, yeah.
Guillermo,
Yes.
by the end of this segment, I want your top 10 list of tools.
It's a lot of pressure.
I know.
One
I mean,
segment.
but
You mean it's not ready to go?
Hold on. We all have hammer number one, right?
Nah, I got screwdriver. Screwdriver, because you know what? If you're in desperate need of a hammer, turn the screwdriver around, use the handle.
Have you guys seen these drills that have two different drill heads and you just flip it? So it's good if you're going to drill a hole and put in a screw because you can drill the hole and then you just flip the head and then you put in the screw. It's great.
Does the hammer not have to be the Alabama football of the tool?
No,
kingdom?
because anything can be a hammer. Cavemen didn't need hammers. They made hammers out of stone. You can get a science book and make that a hammer.
Yeah.
But you can't make a science book a screwdriver, Dan.
Okay.
The drill is the king of tools.
Oh,
It took the screwdriver and it's like, get out of here. Don't need you.
Troy Tulowitzki.
But on the other side of the spectrum, the worst tool is the Allen wrench.
The Allen
wrench is the worst tool ever.
Just useless?
It's for such a specific thing. It's like the screwdriver that's like a hexagon. Where do you see screws that are shaped like hexagons? It's so rare that you don't really need one for anything.
In IKEA, that's where you find them.
Hank Goldberg. The hammer.
Is Ivan Putski? Was he the Polish hammer?
I think so, yeah.
How many hammers can we go to? Wasn't there
Ryan Braun, the Hebrew hammer.
That's one of the great nicknames of all time. Hebrewer. Ryan Braun, the Hebrewer. I'm maintaining it goes right up there with AK-47, Andrei Kirilenko, actual Russian weapon.
Greg the Hammer Valentine.
How many we got? Did you already say the hammer? Did you already say the hammer from the TV shows in the 80s and 90s? Wasn't there a detective?
Oh.
Is there a Hammer Williamson?
Fred Williamson.
Fred the Hammer. Can you give me his IMDb, Roy? I think we could have some fun here with the IMDb of Fred the Hammer Williamson. He was in some monsters. How many hammers? Hold on a second. I need now I need top 5 hammers in the history of sports.
MC Hammer.
He was in sports.
Hank Aaron needs to be number 1. Yes? Hammer and Hank.
Lenny Dykstra. Nails.
I mean, that more connotes the hammer. Look at how proud Stugotz is of himself.
I love this game.
Look at Stugotz.
No, I'm just in a good mood because it's a fun game. Tools.
Tulowitzki was good work by you.
Tulo.
Mike, something else Stugotz suggested during the break. He thinks we should get an intern.
We can't. Yeah, we all agree.
Hold on. You didn't let me finish. He insists, and I'm with him, that the intern be incredibly old.
Like an old school broadcaster guy who needs a gig,
Yes,
man.
yes, like an old broadcaster who
Like a
needs an
60 plus.
internship.
And Goldberg.
I'm not. No, I don't think he needs an internship. That's insulting. I'm not. Stugotz ruined it by making it an actual person who has a name. No, I'm not talking about Hank Goldberg. I'm talking about somebody like my boy Blue.
Fred Williamson was in From Dusk Till Dawn. You remember that? He turned into a vampire.
Yes. He turned into a vampire that then fought a poop monster, if I'm not mistaken. That's cinema.
Brian Saw. ESPN radio. Oh, no, man. Set me up. Hi, everyone. Stugotz here. Support for the Dan Le Batard Show podcast comes from our friends at Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. Chances are you are confident when it comes to your work, your hobbies, and your life. Rocket Mortgage gives you the same level of confidence when it comes to buying a home or refinancing your existing home loan. Rocket Mortgage is simple, allowing you to fully understand all the details and be confident you are getting the right mortgage for you. To get started, go to rocketmortgage.com/Stugotz. That's rocketmortgage.com/Stugotz, Stugotz, equal housing lender, licensed in all 50 states, NMLS consumeraccess.org number 3030.
Dan Le Batard.
Marriage at some point, I think for a lot of people, they get down to, and this is really a sad part about marriage, where you're just having sex one day a week. And that one day a week is Sunday. And so I love Sundays, but I hate everything I have to do leading up till Sunday, which is essentially agree with everything my wife says and does everything she asks me to do. And I'm only doing that for the Sundays. Because if I don't do it, there ain't no Sundays. And I can't live without my Sundays.
Stugotz.
I wonder if Abby hates Sundays.
Oh, she despises them.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
Basketball really has it figured out how it makes dramatic even the predictable. Because we all knew before this season started that this is what we were going to get out west. The moment the Rockets traded for Chris Paul, we all thought that this, and then we saw them play together. It didn't take but 10 games to figure out, oh, okay, it's going to be Golden State and Houston. And then, even though most of us think that that's for the championship, the idea that basketball then gets after that, and maybe LeBron. And maybe, people tuning in just to see him win or lose, doesn't matter. They'd be tuning in a way they wouldn't if Boston gets there. If Boston gets there or Philadelphia gets there, or if anybody other than LeBron gets there.
Not as much drama in getting to the predictable place this year as previous years. I guess the Cavs had the scare in the first round going 7.
No, but the Cavs in general have had the drama for the entire season, right? You can't blow up your team at the midway point, and the Cavs carried us through the regular season in terms of enough drama for everybody.
Chanho Park.
But it's usually more fun when you think the Cavs have a chance. Do you think we'll be able to talk ourselves into that chance if they get to the NBA Finals again?
No, but it'll still be LeBron. It'll still be interesting. It'll still have storylines. It's what you want ahead of Philadelphia. It's what you want ahead of Boston. I mean, right? The nation at large right now, LeBron has gotten to the point where the nation at large is you're in this weird space where you're tuning in every round to watch him possibly lose, but you don't want him to because you want him to keep playing because he keeps your interest in basketball.
Yeah, it's interesting what's happening because as a Miami Heat fan, I generally root against LeBron. But the only times I really root for LeBron are when I have faith in other teams to push them and they fall on their face and they embarrass themselves, whether it be Steph Curry a couple finals ago, not playing well, or whatever the hell DeRozan and Lowry did this round. At a certain point, I just start rooting for the greatness because that's what great players do.
Larry the Axe Henning.
Are the Philadelphia 76ers favored against the Celtics on the road? Down 3-1. If I had to guess, now I don't know anything about point spreads. Mike, you will help me out here. But if I had to guess, this is a rare instance when a 3 going on the road to play a 2 would be down 3-1, and I would make them a betting favorite. I don't know if they are or not, but I would make the Philadelphia 76ers a betting favorite down 3-1 in Game 5. And I don't know if I'm doing that because, like everyone else, I'm doubting that the Celtics can do it without their two stars. And I can mix and match all you want with Brad Stevens. I still don't believe that that's going to mix and match its way past the talent because it rarely does in basketball. I just can't believe I'm saying that with one of the teams down 3-1 and trying to come back from 3-0.
When you first said it, I was like, no, the Celtics have to be maybe like a 2.5 point favorite. But it actually opened at Pick'em, and now it's grown to Celtics minus 1.5. But you're not that off.
Rocky Plyer.
Don't you think that's weird? Don't you think?
I find it very weird.
Given how Philadelphia's played in that series, given that Boston, we know them to be very the embodiment of team, really. Boston, now that Utah's gone and now that all of these pretenders are out of the way, Boston is the best representative of overachieving team. The Warriors can't be that. The style of basketball that is all about fingers on a fist, no one man is all that important. Boston embodies all of that. That never gets to win.
Yeah, it's weird that they get to be the embodiment of team ball when you actually look at the style of play from, say, the Golden State Warriors, and that's actually more team ball than anything.
Houston Nut.
How about this one, Mike? The idea that you could beat the Golden State Warriors 4 out of 7 times in a series when they haven't lost 4 playoff games since Durant got there. Total.
It would seem impossible, and what sort of happened which is weird because I think both teams went 5-5 to get to the Western Conference Finals, right? But what's happened during the playoffs is anybody that was really talking themselves into Houston having a chance has talked themselves out of it. It's weird. Charles Barkley yesterday on Inside the NBA is saying that he would be shocked if it goes past 5. I'm not really sure what's happened here. They both went 5-5.
Ryan Mallett.
What happened is that Steph Curry came back, and they are a totally different team when Steph Curry is healthy and right. The only prayer that anyone in this league has the rest of the way is that Steph Curry's ankle goes again. It's the only chance anybody has. I understand that Houston is pressing the math on, well, we'll out-3 you 4 out of 7 games. We will out-3 you. We will play the math better than you do, and we have lost like 1 game when Capella and Chris Paul and Harden all start. But still, you've got to beat him 4 times out of 7 when Kevin Durant has not lost 4 playoff games since he got to Golden State.
Brandon Phillips had.
You know what's weird as a sports fan when your team is down big and they start playing desperate and they claw their way back into the game and you ask yourself as a sports fan, why can't they just play the entire game with this desperation? The answer is it's nearly impossible. The Warriors have that, and it's not impossible for them. If things get tough, they just start their best lineup. Which is crazy that they don't just do that automatically. But, things are hard. We'll just play the Hamptons 5. We'll just do that, and we'll win easily. It's amazing that they don't just do this every time. Right. They like to play with emotions.
Johnny Wrench.
From that perspective, they've underachieved. The Golden State Warriors have underachieved because didn't they put a lineup out there the other day for the first time ever that all of it was it those 5 guys? Was it the Hampton 5? The first 5 ever to play together, that they hadn't all been out there at the same time. Wasn't it something like that happened the other day?
Where it was like the first time that they started them this entire season starting. They've been on the court together at times, but it's amazing.
The Warriors are playing an all-star. It's an all-star team. What the Rockets are trying to do is the Rockets are playing against an all-star team with 2 all-stars and Trevor Ariza.
Crowbar Garcia Parra.
Aquí lo que importa es el catch.
And, of course, Drill Belichick.
Dan Le Batard.
What did he say? What did Eli Manning do now?
Well, it
doesn't matter.
If you just look at the story as it is right now, there's no doubt. If you just look at that information that Eli Manning did something nefarious. He told someone that it was game-worn stuff that he was signing, and it wasn't.
Stugotz.
Guillermo, put it on the poll. 2 questions on the poll here at Le Batard Show. Are you stunned that Stugotz just used the word nefarious? And are you stunned that Stugotz just used the word nefarious correctly?
Yes, yes.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
This James Paxton James Paxton of the Seattle Mariners, you're not going to get a lot of back-to-back pitching performances like that one where he strikes out 16 and people are saying you should have left him in to see if he could strike out 20. And then he comes out and yesterday, 99 pitches, no hitter. Last inning, he's throwing 100 miles an hour. That is, I'm trying to think when another pitcher announced himself that way. It might have been like Kerry Wood. It might be that long since a pitcher announced himself to America, hey, you better pay attention to me right now, with those two kinds of back-to-back games where you go 16 strikeouts and then you go no hitter.
Has it been that long though?
I mean, I can't think of another who announced himself. Like, it's not the national pastime anymore. It's something that we talk about in passing as general sports fans. Baseball has largely become a regional sport until the very end of the season. And we still are weirdly in the cable age, because once upon a time, Fernando Valenzuela had to be this mania that swept over the land slowly as people got to their televisions to see something. That doesn't exist anymore, but baseball has gotten smaller enough that this is how it can exist now. Hey, who's that? What did he do?
Yeah. And I want to check that out. Whatever it is he's doing, I want to check it out. James Paxton, one of those guys that was always supposed to be this or something close to this. He didn't get to it till last year. He wasn't this, but he was 12-5 with an ERA under 3. But you're right, the last two starts, it's like, take notice.
It is always cool when an athlete of any kind in any sport nominates himself through performance for stardom.
Yeah.
Like, not like where it's like, whoop, you better pay attention. 16 strikeouts, okay, we were kind of talking about you. Now, no hitter on top of that. Second time out, now people are going to be paying attention to your third start.
That was a dude that got touched by an eagle opening day week, right? Opening week. A bald eagle landed on his shoulder during a pregame ceremony, and he kept his cool. Yeah. I knew he would be great right then and there.
How could you not? How could we all not know that? Now, I understand that the eagle is largely a buzzard, that Ron McGill has told us that the eagle has a great PR agent, but it's a dumbass bird. And while you might find this offensive as a proud American, I'm just giving you facts about the animal kingdom. The eagle's kind of an oaf and a bit of a buzzard, but
it's overrated is what you're saying.
It is. The eagle is overrated. Put it on the poll, Guillermo. Is the eagle overrated? For sure. The eagle, in the terms of the animal kingdom, there are very few overrated more than the eagle. The owl is one of them.
Well, he's Canadian, so I don't know if that meant much of anything to him.
Okay, but it seems Thor-like. It seems, it's like who's had a cooler moment than that? Something flying out of the sky and landing regally on their shoulder.
The only thing more impressive is that time that Matt Barnes tried to get Kobe Bryant to blink, and he didn't.
Yeah.
All right, so Guillermo, put it on the poll. What's more impressive? An eagle flying out of the sky and landing on a pitcher's shoulders, or Kobe Bryant not flinching when Matt Barnes pretended to inbound the ball right off his face? I do maintain, I'm with Mike on this one. I know what Kobe Bryant's resume is. That's at the top of it.
Oh, totally. Yes. I've seen the video. I've watched it several times. It's super impressive, man.
James Paxton appears to be the rare athlete that gets in worse shape as the season progresses.
Wow.
Why were you yelling about Lonnie Chisenhall during the break, Stugotz?
Because Lonnie Chisenhall, like a Chisenhall is not a tool, but it sounds like a tool. Like you're in the house and something is broken and you say to yourself, man, this is a job for the Chisenhall. And so I just started a conversation with, guys in sports where their names aren't actual tools, but it sounds like it could be a tool.
I like that game. 786-456-4837 is the telephone number. You callers tend to be failures, nonstop failures. So we're asking you for athlete names that sound like you would say, hey, go to the garage and get me the Lonnie Chisenhall. I got some work to do in the attic.
Yeah, that's something that my brother-in-law says when he's doing home improvement stuff around my house because I can't do it.
Right, we don't know anything about home improvement.
But I think I've heard him say one time, I'll be right back, got to go to the truck and get the Chisenhall.
Yes. All right, so we're all in with Chisenhall. The job of the caller now. Callers, as I mentioned, that have been largely failures for the entire time we've done a radio show. 786-456-4837. I'm sorry to be so harsh with you, but be better. Okay? Because as a call-in audience, you are not funny.
I mean, we've been trying tough love with them for about 3 years, and we haven't seen the results.
I know. So you think
maybe we need to build them back up?
Everybody's just scared to call right now. 786-456-4837. Well, then, we can filibuster with the top 19 tools. Guillermo says the power rankings on the top 19 tools. We begin with number 19, Guillermo.
Number 19, stud finder. Very important tool when you're trying to hammer something into the wall.
Number 18.
Socket wrench.
Number 17.
Jaw horse.
What is that?
It's like a very versatile workbench where you can, add attachments. It's really cool. It's a really cool thing.
Does that count as a tool?
Oh, it's a tool. It's a tool.
It sounds like
workbench is a tool. Jaw horse.
Number 16.
Laser level.
Number 15.
Needle nose pliers.
Number 14.
Tape measure.
Number 13.
Stugotz.
Too low.
Too low. He's a much more valuable tool than that. He's the most valuable of all the tools. Number 12.
Lawnmower.
Number 11.
Wheelbarrow.
All right, now it gets serious.
A lot of people call it wheelbarrow. It's not that. It's wheelbarrow.
Put it on the poll. Wheelbarrow or wheelbarrow? You're right. A lot of people get that one wrong. Are you ready for top 10? Everyone, stand back. Here come Guillermo's top 10 tools of all time. Number 10.
The wrench.
Number 9.
Axe.
8.
Rake/broom.
Wait a minute.
It's an indoor-outdoor. It's the same tool.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Those are different tools.
You can't combine their powers.
You can't have co-champions.
This list is final.
Number 7.
Taladro.
Number 6.
Circular saw.
Number 5.
A digging shovel. Flat shovels, no good. Useless. Digging shovel can do the job of both of those shovels.
4.
Ladder.
3.
Hammer.
Wait a minute. I offered hammer as a consensus number 1. Mike said every damn tool can be used as a hammer, and I think he said a book could be used as a hammer.
Science book.
Now it's at 3.
Well, it has the thing at the back that you can need to take the nails out with it. One of those hammers.
What's missing, Stugotz? What are some of your guesses here? Because we got 2 and 1 left.
It's got to be screwdriver.
No, didn't he say that? I feel like he said that. Number 2.
A Phillips screwdriver.
Oh, wow.
The best of the screwdrivers.
No love for that.
Flathead.
No, flatheads are useless. Phillips is the king of screwdrivers.
Yeah.
Or queen.
All right. Are you guys ready?
I don't know.
Because this is very exciting. We're about to get to the number 1 tool, according to Guillermo. But first, Armando, you're on ESPN Radio. Go ahead, Armando.
A Jake Stoneburner.
Is that a tool? A Jake Stoneburner. I got some grilling to do.
Go
Can
get
you
me
get
the
me?
Jake,
Can
yeah.
you get me the Stoneburner?
I'm good with that.
I don't think the callers understand that they're just supposed to say the name that sounds like a tool. We don't need the first name of the person.
The first name's fine. And let's remember, we're trying to build them up.
Yeah.
Good job so far, callers.
I hate them.
Yep.
Marcus, that's our call screeners. Bitterness and resentment. Marcus, you're on ESPN Radio.
Burkhead, most useless tool.
Oh, what about the Burkhead?
Yeah.
Does someone need to go to the garage and get the Burkhead?
Man, callers are doing a great job.
Nime, you're on ESPN Radio. Go ahead.
Budenholzer.
Oh,
yes.
Oh,
Yes.
somebody.
Go get me the Budenholzer.
Oh, I've got something that's wrong with the jacuzzi. Go get me the Budenholzer.
Best callers in the nation, right here.
Jake, you're on ESPN Radio.
The Chuck Knobloch.
Yeah.
Need the knob law, yeah.
What does it do?
That's not for us to decide.
Yeah,
Okay, all right. I got a couple of flat tires. Can you put the car up on the knob block?
Oh, that's a great suggestion.
There you go. Excellent. Well done, man.
Put it on the knob
done.
block.
Yeah, put it on the knob blocks.
Eric, you're on ESPN Radio, Eric.
Emmanuel Sanders.
I don't know, man.
Well, maybe sometimes he needs to read an Emmanuel.
I thought what happened there is that somebody needed some wood buff, didn't know how to do it, so I had to go to the Emmanuel.
See, you're better.
Okay.
You're better at this.
I like read the Emmanuel.
I like this new policy.
The sander. It's an I don't know how to work
Maybe
the sanders.
Perhaps it's a manual for the sander.
Yeah, I'm not good with my hands. I don't know how to do anything revolving around sanders. Hey, Stugotz, can you go get me the Emmanuel? No, Dan, I can't read.
This show ain't free. Time for some ads.
I feel like I'm forgetting something.
Everyone in the neighborhood knew about Bobby. Bobby, the basketball boy, they called him. Bobby wanted to go pro someday, so he was always out in the driveway shooting hoops. But one day, his mom came out and told him,
"Hey, your wife wants you to take out the trash?"
His mom was visiting, and Bobby was a grown man. He had kind of missed his window. Plus, no one had ever seen him actually make a basket. But on the other hand, Bobby had heard how Geico could save him money on car insurance, so he switched and saved. So it was all good.
Dan Le Batard.
How do you feel, Texter, right now? Like, you fired off that text making fun of me. What's a wheelbarrow, Dan? Making fun of me because you were going to catch me with the word slippage, and now I've turned it around on you, and you've been doing something wrong your entire life, Texter.
Stugotz.
Like, you pounced on me there. I'm going to show Dan, and now look in that mirror, sir. What's looking back at you is a cackling me. You pounced on my ignorance, and thy ignorance is yours!
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
So, happy birthday here to Ghostface Killer. He's 48 years old. Ghostface Killer. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to him. I don't care. Good luck.
I think I called him Killer as well, which is not the way that I was supposed to do that. It's supposed to be Kill-a. So Stugotz is going to give no credit whatsoever here, none, zero, to Chris Paul after he scores 41 points. 41 points last night to send his team to the Western Conference Finals. He's never been that deep in the playoffs.
Right, which is an indictment on Chris Paul. Because if you're one of the great point guards, which everyone seems to call him one of the all-time great point guards, I don't think that he is, you would have made it to a conference final. You wouldn't need to join James Harden. You just would have made a conference final. Isaiah Thomas made a conference final. And not the Pistons Isaiah Thomas, the Celtics Isaiah Thomas. I'm sorry. And so you want me to give credit to Chris Paul for having a big game? Great, he had a big game. It was a meaningless series. Do it against the Warriors. And once you're done with the Warriors, do it against LeBron and the Cavaliers. Because, Dan, I promise you, that 41-point game, 8-10, it ain't coming in the next series. I promise you, not going to happen. Golden State's going to win that series in 4 or 5 games.
Well, all I want from Houston is doubt. I'll settle for Houston not beating Golden State. I just want Houston to give me a reason to care. Because maybe someone can knock off Golden State. Show me something. Get up 2-1. Put the Warriors in a position that the only other time they've been in that position, they've lost.
But you can rotate on James Harden. Just go Kevin Durant and Draymond Green and Klay Thompson, and all those guys are good defenders, and Harden's great. I mean, he might be the best offensive player in the game right now. It's so fun to watch when he's on. But then you have Curry and Paul. Like, I'm going to take my chances with those 4 over those 2.
That's fine, and most people are. What I'm telling you about the Rockets is I thought the moment that Durant got to Golden State, there would not be a doubt until Durant left Golden State that upon his arrival, that what they had was already overwhelming.
Sure.
He fit with it perfectly. No one can beat them. Again, since he's been there, they've lost 3 playoff games. Now you got to beat them 4 out of 7 if you're Houston. But all I want from Houston is go back and forth with them, take their punches, and please make some shots in this series so that I have a hope and a doubt that Golden State, just make me doubt Golden State for 1 minute, because I can't bring myself to do it unless Houston forces me to do it.
You'll take just a minute.
Just a minute.
I'm with you.
Just give me, that's all I want from this next series. 1 minute of doubt.
Stugotz here for 1-800-Flowers. Let's be real. If your big Mother's Day surprise consists of one well-crafted text message, you need to go back to the drawing board ASAP. Moms deserve more than just emojis. Do it right this year and celebrate Mom with this special limited time offer from 1-800-Flowers.com. Right now, you can take care of all the mothers on your list. 1-800-Flowers will give you 24 multicolored roses plus a free vase for just $29.99. It's an incredible offer that Mom would approve of. With a bright and beautiful mix of premium roses in a rainbow of colors, these blooms are guaranteed to make her smile. Multicolored roses are the perfect way to surprise all the moms in your life. Wife, aunt, sister, grandma. These breathtaking roses from 1-800-Flowers are picked at their peak and shipped overnight to ensure freshness. 24 multicolored roses plus a free vase for just $29.99 is an amazing offer. But hurry, because it expires Thursday. Just pick your delivery date, and 1-800-Flowers will handle the rest. Don't put this off, guys. I'm telling you, order today from 1-800-Flowers.com. It's what Mom would want you to do. To order 24 multicolored roses plus a free vase for just $29.99, simple. Go to 1-800-Flowers.com, click the radio icon, enter code Dan. That's 1-800-Flowers.com, code Dan. But you better hurry. The offer ends Thursday.
Squirrels are known for saving, but with the help of AARP, they won't be the only ones. From planning to budgeting, AARP is here to help you stretch your dollar further. So take on today and every day with AARP. Learn how at takeontoday.aarp.
Dan Le Batard.
Where's our trip to Mars, Musk?
Oh, you hear what he said about Mars? The first few people who go to Mars on his mission, SpaceX, whatever it is, they're probably going to die.
Stugotz.
So I want to have this writer on because I think I want to expose Elon Musk because I'm not credible enough to do it, but this guy seems to be my guy.
He seems to have facts. You want him to give you the facts that you can then be armed with to say, look, when we go to Mars, Elon Musk is going to kill us first.
Yeah.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
Woj is going to join us in a second. What I'd like to sprinkle around Woj is some of these callers. Maybe Guillermo's power tool list can be completed there. I failed earlier, if you're just joining us, because someone nominated Emmanuel Sanders as an athlete's name that sounded like a tool, and I thought it was a manual for a sander, and what I should have gone there, it was a manual sander, as opposed to the one that's machine operated. A manual, a sander that is manual.
Can't believe you screwed that up.
I know, I screwed that up.
Yeah.
So,
what a horrible, just sandpaper?
That's right. Yes, it's a manual sander. Yes. So Woj is joining us now, and we were just talking. Thanks as always for making time for us.
Of course.
The way basketball has changed, the way the math has changed, what kind of reasonable chance does Houston have as a team that had the best offensive rating in the history of the sport this year?
I think, Dan, the fact that they're so much better defensively, I think gives them more than a puncher's chance in a series with Golden State. And listen, I still think Golden State at their best is better than everybody else at theirs. And Golden State, in the past years here, when they weren't at their best, like they were still the best team. I think they have to play their best to beat Houston. I think Houston's the only team that can, if Golden State's just a little bit off, can beat them. But I still think the Warriors pulling on all cylinders is they're beyond still everybody else in the league.
What has happened in the first two rounds of the playoffs where Woj says to himself, okay, that is going to result in off-season change that's pretty substantive? Everything that's happened in the first two rounds, where does Woj go and say, okay, the blueprint's going to change a lot there for next year?
I don't know if it's going to change a lot anywhere. I think people want to point at Toronto and say that they have to or they should make or they will make a significant change of direction. I do not think they will. I think their roster has a really good balance of the veteran star players and a really good young core that's coming up. And those guys are all on shorter contracts, and they're all lined up in the same year. DeRozan, Kyle Lowry, Lowry and Ibaka signed 3-year deals last summer that match them up with DeRozan's deal. So, listen, they're going to take a look at Dwayne Casey here, and they're doing that now. And I think you're sort of going to take one or two routes there. If you stay with Case, then maybe you look at the roster. But if you look at the coach and say, okay, do we want to keep a roster together that won 59 games, had the 1 seed in the East, best regular season in our franchise history, and we can't beat this one team or this one player, really. Do we make a change at coach that allows us to run it back with a different coach, different system, and go at it? But the thing that all these teams are going through is they're looking at the marketplace and going, is there somebody better out there? Is there really somebody better that we can wholeheartedly sell better than the guy we have? And I think a lot of teams are looking at the marketplace. There are a lot of coaching openings, and they're saying, like, better may not be out there, and change for the sake of change, could have greater consequences than staying status quo.
Sean, you're on ESPN Radio.
The Zlatan.
Yes, the Zlatan is an answer to all questions.
Woj, is Brett Brown safe? Is his job safe?
Absolutely. I mean, he's going to get Brett Brown is in line to get a contract extension. Like, you don't win 30 more regular season games, win a round of the playoffs, and then all of a sudden somebody doesn't like your out of bounds play in one game, and you're going to make a change because of that. It's insane. And he will be the coach there going forward. I wouldn't be surprised, and I'm not breaking news here, but I wouldn't be surprised if he got an extension, given where his contract status is. Like, you don't lose coaches like Brett Brown. And I think, again, it gets back to decisions aren't made off of one moment or a couple moments in one series, especially with a young team. And the other thing, too, is like, Brad Stevens might be a better coach than Brett Brown. He very well might be. So is everybody in the league going to fire their coach? Everybody who doesn't have a coach as good as Brad Stevens, they're all going to fire their coach? And then who are they hiring? And so I think some context gets lost in all of this sometimes. Like, he's a keeper. He's built your program. And coaches, the way you get better coaching in playoff situations as a head coach is to coach through them. It's like a player. You're going to get better if you're smart and you work hard at it, and you're not afraid to analyze and be critical of yourself, which Brett Brown isn't. He's going to look back and hopefully grow from it, like lots of coaches have done in their careers, just like players do, executives do. So yeah, the idea of Brett Brown not being in Philly to me is that's insane.
Rob, you're on ESPN Radio. Go ahead, Rob.
When I'm in a Rubicon, I always go to my Verlander.
Oh, yeah, it's like a Swiss Army knife. It is. It's like a Swiss Army knife.
Woj, how much interest do you think Stan Van Gundy, who was, I guess they mutually parted ways in Detroit, Stan has said, according to, I believe, the New York Post today, that he still indeed wants to coach. How much interest will teams have in Stan Van Gundy?
I absolutely think Stan would be a head coach in the league again if that's what he wants to do. I think the days of the coach having the front office power are almost all gone in the league, and Tom Thibodeau has it in Minnesota, and I don't know if we will see it anywhere else. I think that Stan, Doc Rivers doesn't have that with the Clippers anymore. Stan obviously lost that in Detroit, but Stan, just as your coach, is still considered, I think, one of the better coaches in the league, and I imagine that if he wants to coach again, he has said he does. Now, it may not be in this cycle right now, right. But I think with a veteran team who's trying to win in the near term, I think Stan's shown himself to be a good playoff coach and a good program manager.
Woj, help me out with something. What else do you have in your arsenal that makes you react the way you did to the idea of the Sixers firing their coach? Like, what have you heard out there in terms of criticism or gasbagging or something that someone has said on our network where you're like, that's ridiculous? What you're being ridiculous, like where we could get you really fired up.
No, I wasn't reacting to anything but the question you guys asked.
I know, but what else can I ask you like that is what I'm asking.
Yeah, but I got the question because people on this network want him fired.
What else can I ask you that you would be like, I can't believe people are saying this stupid thing?
That wasn't my intent. But certainly, I just think that, like, right now this is a league where I get people, like, it is hard right now to close the gap on Golden State Houston. And I think everyone who is sort of in that middle area, I think there's always a call for dramatic change. Like if a team wins 45, 48, 49 games, and you're saying blow it up, tear it up. And that's the big thing now is blow it up. And it's like you look in this league, when you do blow it up, the toll it takes on everybody and how long it takes and how lucky you got to get an Embiid, to get a Ben Simmons, to get a Durant or a Russell Westbrook like Oklahoma City, Seattle did. That, like, I think they're seeing in the league is there's some great dishonor to be winning 47, 48 games, getting to the second round of the playoffs. Like, I think people forget it's a business. And the idea of gutting your roster and having an unwatchable product for 2-3 years, most organizations and cities and markets, like they can't all come back from that fan wise, and there's no guarantee. In fact, there's no guarantee at all it's going to work. And I think teams who are sort of in that middle, who keep looking to make Portland, Toronto, they can keep tweaking their roster. They have good cores and getting better and being creative and finding ways to kind of wait out Houston and Golden State a little bit in the West.
Woj, I said on this network that Kawhi has been sitting the entire season because LeBron told him to do so. Yell at me.
LeBron told him to sit?
Yeah, LeBron told him to sit. Yell at me.
Yeah, I mean, just all the Kawhi stuff. If you can help us understand the Kawhi stuff.
Or yell at me.
Well, Ramona Shelburne, Mike Wright did a great piece on it last week on the site, and I just think that there's certainly a breakdown in trust between Kawhi Leonard and the group, his group and the Spurs. And there's been a breakdown in trust and really communication as the year went on. And I think a differing of opinions. But either they're going to get on the same page here and figure out a way to go forward together and figure out a way to get on the same page medically, that the Spurs would be a greater part of the conversation of how to go forward with that quad and where they want to go. And if that doesn't happen, I think it's difficult for them I think the Spurs then have to look at the idea of moving him because he'll be going into his free agency next in 2019. But I don't rule out those two getting back on the same page. I don't rule it out. And but there's time between now and July or the draft when hypothetically a deal would need to happen. So, but it's still going to play out. But I think the whole league is watching this. Everybody would want to be involved in a conversation to try to acquire Kawhi Leonard, but it's not there yet.
Billy, what's your number one tool?
Machete.
Should the Sixers be favored tonight, Woj?
I don't know if they're favored tonight, but they're good enough to keep winning. Listen, no one's come. History tells you nobody's coming back from 3-0.
Say it's going to happen. Woj, I'm tired of your perspective, your nuance, and your journalism. Say right here. You say something on the show, you come on and you say, I'm not breaking news here, I'm just giving you my opinion. I want you to give us something, Woj, before you get out of here.
Because I'm telling you, if you don't say it right now, if you don't claim it right now, I'm going to say
enough perspective. Okay? All right, Woj, don't make Stugotz do it. Enough perspective. Will the Sixers rally from 3-0, Woj?
No, they're not going to rally from 3-0. But I do think they are. This isn't usually when it's 3-0. It's a mismatch. Usually somebody is much better than the other team. That's not the case here. And Philly if Bellinelli and Redick and those guys who have been making shots that whole last stretch of the season in the playoffs, they start making shots again to support the two stars, then. Then
it happens, Woj. Then what do you mean then it happens? You're hedging, Woj. You're hedging.
I am hedging.
No, don't hedge.
They're not going to win the series.
Don't hedge.
But they're not going to win the series, Dan.
No, get the hedger out of here.
I would love to see a Game 6 in Philly. That place.
Get this quack out of here.
I mean, Woj, hedgers is not on our list of tools.
Get this quack out of here.
Let's go. My private jet isn't going to fuel itself.
I'm happy to run with that one. That seems like a good spot for me.
This is a good spot for you.
Sixers coming back.
Sixers are coming back from 3-0.
Yep.
That coward Wojnarowski won't get out there with a risky pick if Bellinelli hits shots.
And let me tell you something. If the Sixers don't come back from this deficit, you fire Brett Brown.
I just saved hundreds of dollars by switching to Geico. I feel like a whole new person.
Disclaimer, you will not become a whole new person. This is impossible. You might be able to join a gym or diet program, buy a new wardrobe, get hair implants, but your DNA and physical form will remain the same. Geico waives any and all liability if you attempt to become a new person, except a cyborg. If you choose to become a half-human, half-cybernetic organism with lasers for eyes, the Geico legal team would be cool with that, because, quote, laser eyes are pretty sweet. Pew, 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 end quote.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Dan Le Batard.
Stugotz is a liar.
What happened?
Stugotz.
Well, we know this about you. It's not what happened. It's a statement of fact. You're someone who lies so much that you can be correctly identified as a liar. Yes, I don't. Did you even dispute that?
No, I don't.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
Here's some borrowed straight talk, okay? This is just me reading. These are not my thoughts. These are the thoughts of Tom Junot. He is one of the best writers in the history of magazine writing, and he wrote something for ESPN, the magazine, about Mike Tomlin. And when he wrote about Mike Tomlin, he also chose to write about race. Now, around here, you know that many people object anytime we wade into racial waters. We've done it less and less over the years as it's become a more and more popular thing everywhere else to do, and we've just sort of moved away from it because of how tired people are of all kinds of race conversations.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, it's white people who are tired of it, rest assured. And so Tom Junot writes this, and this is 2 paragraphs that can distill it pretty easily for you on the race conversations in America. It's about Mike Tomlin, ESPN, the magazine, Tom Junot. Talk to white players who play for a black coach, and they will tell you that the color of their coach's skin does not matter. Of course it doesn't matter. Why should it matter? It doesn't matter one bit. Talk to African-American players who play for a black coach, and they will tell you that the color of their coach's skin matters deeply, powerfully, necessarily, and unavoidably. Of course it matters. It has to matter. It better matter. You're damn right it matters, because it matters, just for starters, to them. And then this is the insoluble paradox at the heart of the racial conversation in the United States circa 2018, that white America speaks of race as a consideration to be transcended, and black America speaks of race as a force to be acknowledged, that white America believes that the purpose of talking about race is to one day end the conversation, and black America believes that the purpose of talking about race is to one day get the real conversation started. And there it is for you. Like, there it is. The differences between the white and black perspective. ESPN did not have to put a 30 for 30 together to show you O.J. Simpson, the prism through which sports learned how differently black people and white people can view the very same thing.
Wow. He's a writer.
Yeah, he is.
You should just read that at the end of every race segment we do. Yeah. There's no way people don't understand that, right?
If you want to argue, if you want to make it about politics, if you don't want to just make it about different perspectives from different people, because we've had different experiences growing up in different places, and our weddings are different, and our funerals are different, and our parties are different. And so, of course, our perspectives are in every way different.
Really interesting, man. Important conversation. What do you think he meant by that?
Dan Le Batard.
Dan, you're on Dueling Dragons. You're having the time of your life. All of a sudden, the roller coaster goes off the rails, and you die.
Yeah.
Was that fun?
I don't like roller coasters because of the risk of dying in a roller coaster. I don't want to go on any roller coasters because that's one of the possibilities.
Stugotz.
You're eating a pastelito. You love pastelitos. This is a delicious pastelito from Casavana. So good. And then it gets lodged in your esophagus and you choke and you die.
Mm-hmm.
Was it fun? Was it fun?
Yeah. It was fun while I was eating it. Then it stopped being fun.
Right.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
If you are new to this program, sometimes we have to explain things so that you aren't excluded or you don't feel like there's so many inside jokes that you are missing everything and that we are pushing you on the outside. So our sports radio show is largely a spoof of sports radio shows with our most gas-baggy cartoon character, the epicenter of everything we do, the face and voice of the sports fan, being the magnificent, unshaven Stugotz.
Yeah.
And so
we don't shave, man.
He is the source of greatness around here. Our goal over time as a spoof of a sports radio show is to have Stugotz devour Dan Patrick, Mike Wilbon, Rich Eisen, Keith Oberman, all of the old school. And then at the very end, when it becomes ESPN, or what would it be? ES Stugotz PN.
Sounds good.
Yeah, ES Stugotz. The last flag that he will plant will be in my rear end as he gets to the top of the mountain and shouts down the entire mainstream media as a cartoon character. That's the show.
I don't know if you were doing a Freudian slip there, but you started spelling out ASSBN.
It'll be that too. If he wins, that's what it'll be. It'll be ASPN. It will be.
And I'm good with that.
Everyone is. Yeah. That will be that's what it should be. It's how we conquer from the inside the entire sports media industry with our burro, our resident ass, the founder and face and voice for ASPN.
Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. So in that vein though, Mike, because I hate prediction radio, prediction television. I marvel at the fact that after all these years, we can do all sorts of scientific advancements, but the pregame show is still the same crud it always is. A coach, a couple of analysts predicting games, and we think the Patriots are going to win. Thanks, guys.
Well, you're right. I got the Warriors at 5.
So beyond that, you saw that Adrian Wojnarowski, credible journalist, like as credible as we've got anywhere in sports. Seriously. Adrian Wojnarowski is the top of the journalism food chain. And we ask him, the Sixers, are they coming back from 3-0? And he says no, but then he starts with, and if Bellinelli hit shots, and these set of circumstances, So, I'm just saying that we push Stugotz out there now with the take that ESPN is going to run with, which is to preview the Sixers-Celtics game.
Yeah.
I think you need to get out there forcefully with the idea the Sixers are about to become the first team ever to come back from down 3-0. And the reason to do it is because the circumstances are perfect.
Oh, they're
for
great.
It.
Yeah,
this
right.
is the lesser team that's down 3-1 has the 2 stars. So if we can just all get out of the way, what we would like on this slow Wednesday when the entire sports media industry needs content, let's allow the floor in the room for
I got this. I know what you want here, and I got it. Listen, the 76ers, who were down 3-0 in this series to the Celtics, okay? I know no team has never done it, but here's what else has never happened. You've never had a team that's missing their top 2 stars. They're missing Gordon Hayward. They're missing Kyrie Irving. How they're up 3-0 at this point is a mystery to everyone, and I'm telling you, Philadelphia is the better team.
Hold on,
the more talented.
if I may, let me stop you there. You started with no team has never done it. They're not going to use that. Like ESPN would not.
Oh, yeah, but that's the unimportant part. It's the end. It's
I know, but but what I'm saying is we want to get them a clip that they can use throughout their programs, all of them. And if you start with no team has never done it,
right,
that's not the way to start. We have to do better than that.
Also, you're talking about how it's like 3-0 now. You know that the Sixers already took a game, right?
I get that. I figured they had the power to edit up there, but that's okay, so I'll start again.
I love that you say, I totally got it, and then you come out of the box like a rodeo bull just making mistakes all over the place.
Listen, 3-1, I don't care what anyone tells me.
Let's start again.
3, take it from the top.
2, not 3-1, 3.
Oh, and pronounce Celtics the right way, like a human would.
Not 3-1, 3, 2, 1.
Listen, I know the Celtics are down 3-1. I know this. I messed it up again. Let's do it. Take 3.
3, 2, 1.
Listen, I know the Sixers are down 3-1. I know the Celtics have 2 games at home. The Sixers only have 1 remaining game at home. But I'm telling you, the Sixers are a better team. And no team has ever pulled this off. And I'm telling you, this Sixer team is going to pull it off. Why? The process. They have trusted the process. And they have the 2 best players on the floor. Every time they step on a basketball court against this Boston Celtic team, they have the 2 best players on the floor in Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid. And so you think about it. All they really need to do is win a Game 5 on the road tonight. They come back for a Game 6 at home, and then you know what happens? You get to a 7th game, and you know who has all the pressure on them? The Boston Celtics. And you know who's never played with that type of pressure on them? These Boston Celtics. And I'm telling you, the Sixers are going to get into a Game 7. Then the Celtics are going to get very, very tight, and the talent is going to take over. And the Sixers have the 2 most talented guys in this series. The Sixers going to come back from 3-0 and be the first team to come back from a 3-0 deficit in the NBA playoffs, and the Sixers will advance on to the Eastern Conference Finals against the Cavaliers. How about that?
And scene. You want to try it again, or do you think that I felt that was a little wordy. It had a lot of fat. It didn't need the how about that at the end. You got a booger in your right nostril.
Well, so does Clooney.
We might want to clean some of this up if you want to try it again and tighten it up one more time. Yeah, there's something on your lip too, on your right lip.
It's hanging
right
down that far.
It's problematic. So if you want to clean up your face slightly to see if we can get your unshaven face to go across all the platforms. Mike, why are you reacting with horror to his face? There's like skin off of his lip that's unpleasant.
Well, I think it just ended up on his lip after he touched his nose. So
I'm pretty
sure what landed on his lip was
tasty.
A new field analyst for Monday Night Football.
It's still there?
No, I think you're as clean as that face is going to get.
Okay.
So, once again, we're trying to get this across all platforms.
Got it.
And we need it to be like just a soundbite. It needs to be within 25 to 30 seconds so that America can consume it very quickly.
Okay. You want to count me down?
3, 2, 1.
Oh, my God.
That's too bad.
Oh, sorry. I looked at it.
Well, what does that mean? So you reach through the magic crate of content. Everything always stops immediately when the magic crate of content music plays and the crate is open. There's a question after Stugotz rummages and most humiliating experience on a date.
Most humiliating experience.
I'm all in. I'm all in with pooping in a parking lot after drinking too much white wine.
That happened to you as well?
Aquí lo que importa es el catch.
1-800-Flowers, people. I can't think of a better way, really, to segue into 1-800-Flowers, Mother's Day, and the beauty of that than the visual image of Stugotz and I pooping in a parking lot because we've had too much white wine.
They're going to use that Sixers take, or what do you think?
I don't think it was good enough.
What do you mean?
I don't think it was good. It was too long, and you had snot on your face.
Oh.
You want to try it again?
Well, I mean, listen, if someone can guarantee me they're going to use it, then I would try it again, yes. If not, then I don't want to waste my time.
Well, they can't guarantee you they're going to use it if you have a snot in your nose.
Well, is there still snot in my nose?
No, there's not, but the take that we have on video has snot in your nose.
Okay. I mean, I can do it now in 30 seconds, or we can do it next segment.
With this music behind it?
Oh, yeah, they're not going to
turn down the music. Hold on. Stugotz wants his viral take. Go ahead, 30 seconds.
I just want to tell you, listen, the Sixers are the better team. I don't care what's happened thus far in the series. I am telling you, all the Sixers have to do tonight with the two best players on the court is go out and win a Game 5. And then what happens? The mental part of the game takes over, where suddenly the Celtics, who are up 3-0, say to themselves, oh, my God, we're a road loss away from playing a seventh game. We were up 3-0, and I'm telling you, it's going to happen tonight. Sixers win, then they win Game 6. Game 7, the Celtics start to feel that pressure, and the Sixers have the two best players on the court, Ben Simmons, Embiid. Embiid goes for 45 in Game 7 on the Celtics home court, and the Sixers move on to the Eastern Conference Finals. They're not going to use that one as well.
It wasn't good enough.
Man.
Stumbled at the finish line there.
You know what happened there, I got to be honest, is, well, I don't want to blame anyone because then I'm going to get fined.
Who could you possibly blame there?
I don't want to blame anyone.
Immunity. I'm curious. Is that how you're going to put this
immunity
on?
From the community. Yeah, you got immunity. No one will find you. Who were you going to blame for you messing up at the end of that lousy Sixers tape?
The booger. Got on my lip, man. It got in my way.
Dan Le Batard.
That ranks up there as the most humbling moment in my life.
Stugotz.
That and getting so drunk on white wine on a date one time that I pooped in a parking lot.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Did I just say that out loud? That was last week.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
Texter writes in here, I'm listening to yesterday's podcast and hearing the story of how Greg Cody's father got his Purple Heart made me laugh because my great-great-grandfather got an injury in the Civil War by spilling boiling hot bacon grease on his foot while he was cooking. I did not know you could get a Purple Heart first. Is that true? Can you get a Purple Heart for put it on the poll. Can you get a Purple Heart for spilling boiling hot bacon grease on yourself during a war?
We're assuming that it's true that he has a Purple Heart also.
That's correct, but no, but just for the purposes of this story, Greg Cody said his father has a Purple Heart, and he was just a cook, and he got injured jumping off of a truck, I think he said.
That's something I heard through my childhood. Like, that he didn't make that up yesterday on air. If that's a lie, it's been a lie my whole life.
All right, so that's what I'm saying. I did not know that that's something you could get a Purple Heart for. I had no idea.
It seems like they're just handing them out to anyone.
I mean anyone who gets hurt during a war, I believe that is blasphemous, and I believe we shouldn't be saying that in any way on
what?
On the
No, I'm with you. I was just saying, I wanted to clarify what it is we're not supposed to say.
You probably need to be careful about going after Purple Heart recipients. We're simply talking in general about Greg Cody's father and the idea of getting a Purple Heart for spilling hot bacon grease on yourself.
Right.
I mean.
Oh, we're clear now. That's right. And I was saying, if Greg Cody's father has one, it seems like, and that's the reason he got it. It seems like they're just, we're done now.
All right. Just walk it back.
I did.
Okay.
I was just clarifying what you said. I thought it needed some clarification.
It's a good conversation we're having. It's an important conversation. I'm happy that we're having
it.
Yeah. In keeping with what it is that I was talking about with the 76ers, it's our most predictable sport, basketball. Very few upsets, very few surprises. Somebody at the network get out there with the Sixers are going to come back from 3-0. Somebody make a bold prediction. All you hedgers out there, all of you who got the 22 of you who got the Pelicans Blazers series wrong. Somebody, is there a gas bag with the intestinal fortitude, with the grapefruits to come out and say the Sixers are going to be the team that comes back from down 3-0?
I already said it.
Poorly. You said it poorly.
Well, it seems like you want to be the guy. Go for it.
I'm not brave enough to do that.
What's going on?
Just do it. It's going to be fun.
Everybody slow down.
You were pushing Woj and pushing Stugotz to say this?
I'm not comfortable doing it. I want others to do it for me as a shield. I'm going to ask my father later. I'm scared of the whole thing.
So, you don't have to be chained to this prediction, but it kind of sounds like you think this might happen.
Well, here's the thing, okay? And I'm not out there because I need to hedge it in as many ways and with as many diluters as possible. But again, I frame this for you against Stephen A. Smith is a basketball authority. This is our most predictable sport. Yeah. I believe he's got either 6 out of the last 7 finals wrong or 6 out of the last 6. I don't know. Maybe he broke the string last year. The point is we're giving opinions on this network all the time. This one's ripe. This one, rare is the take that all of us haven't consumed at the trough. Rare anywhere in the network is the take that you're not hearing anywhere else. In our most predictable sport, does anyone, because I don't, I'm just telling you I don't, but does anyone else, I'm scared of it. I want to say it, but I can't do it. I can't do it because Boston has surprised me in that series, and I don't understand how the Sixers are down 3-1, and they were intergalactically stupid at the end of Game 3. And so I'm scared of it. But if
so the series really should be 2 games apiece right now?
And all of a sudden you'd be headed into Game 5, and what would we be saying? We'd be saying Philadelphia can win this one.
Absolutely, yeah. Yep. Why don't you go with it, man? I want to hear you do it. Just step out there, man. Do it. Come on, do it. You'll be okay.
Do you think I will be?
I think you'll be fine.
Yeah, it's
I'll
a
help
hard
you through it, man. Yeah.
It's a hard thing to do. It's a house money bet. Yeah.
Oh, but I don't want to be the voice that goes viral. I prefer Stugotz takes all those risks as the clown prince of our show.
No, but I think you saying it will actually go viral. I say it, and I think they're up there. They're kind of onto it.
No, I think you could say it better. I think you could say it.
He clearly can't, though. We gave him 5 opportunities.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, Dan, I know that you think I don't need to believe in this stuff, but I actually do. I don't think this is going to happen. You do, so therefore you need to say it.
Oh, you have to believe it in order to sell it? Is that something that you just alleged right now? That's the Kentucky Fried Chickens. That is something that you have to believe it to say it. It is your oath. Truth is your guide.
I'm leaving now.
Chicken thon.
A bit ridiculous. He's built his career on that.
Stugotz here for 1-800-Flowers. Let's be real. If your big Mother's Day surprise consists of one well-crafted text message, you need to go back to the drawing board ASAP. Moms deserve more than just emojis. Do it right this year and celebrate Mom with this special limited time offer from 1-800-Flowers.com. Right now, you can take care of all the mothers on your list. 1-800-Flowers will give you 24 multicolored roses plus a free vase for just $29.99. It's an incredible offer that Mom would approve of. With a bright and beautiful mix of premium roses in a rainbow of colors, these blooms are guaranteed to make her smile. Multicolored roses are the perfect way to surprise all the moms in your life. Wife, aunt, sister, grandma. These breathtaking roses from 1-800-Flowers are picked at their peak and shipped overnight to ensure freshness. 24 multicolored roses plus a free vase for just $29.99 is an amazing offer. But hurry, because it expires Thursday. Just pick your delivery date, and 1-800-Flowers will handle the rest. Don't put this off, guys. I'm telling you, order today from 1-800-Flowers.com. It's what Mom would want you to do. To order 24 multicolored roses plus a free vase for just $29.99, simple. Go to 1-800-Flowers.com, click the radio icon, enter code Dan. That's 1-800-Flowers.com, code Dan. But you better hurry. The offer ends Thursday.
Squirrels are known for saving, but with the help of AARP, they won't be the only ones. From planning to budgeting, AARP is here to help you stretch your dollar further. So take on today and every day with AARP. Learn how at takeontoday.aarp.
Dan Le Batard.
LaMarcus Aldridge.
Awful.
Stugotz.
I mean,
no, he's an embarrassment, man. He's bad. He's not a good player. I don't know what happened to him, because when he was in Portland, he was fantastic. He is not good, Dan. He cost them the game last night. Although they won the game. But had they lost, I'm telling you, it would have been on LaMarcus Aldridge. And the only reason it's not is because they won the game. And I'm still going to crush them even though they won.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Guest on the Dan Le Batard Show appear via the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line. Here's your SportsCenter update. Rafael Palmeiro says he has agreed to play with his son for the independent Claiborne Railroaders at the age of 53. Orioles pitcher Dylan Bundy became the first pitcher in the modern era to give up 4 homers without recording an out. Tough night, man. And finally, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson scored a whopping $22 million base pay for the upcoming action comedy Red Notice, which finally landed at Universal after a serious bidding war. As part of the deal, Johnson will be paid $1 million just to promote the movie on his social media platforms. $1 million. I'd like to arrive at that place.
Would you?
I mean, yeah, it'd be nice.
Really? I'm stunned by that. You're the only person on the entire planet who would like to be paid $1 million for what he puts on his social media account.
Yep.
Keep working, Stugotz. Someday you'll get there.
I'm grinding, man.
You're in a phone store on a Friday evening, demanding your appearance fee from a clerk behind the desk. Someday you'll get there.
I'll do it for $10. I mean, I'm just saying, I don't mean $1 million. I'd like to arrive at a point where people are paying me to tweet stuff out, because I could do that all day. Mm-hmm. Would you? Never in a million years. But I wish I had access to your Twitter account, because then I could charge a couple of thousand. You got a lot of followers, man. Someone give me the passwords. If your big Mother's Day surprise consists of one well-crafted text message, you need to step it up with 1-800-Flowers. Right now, you can get 24 multicolored roses plus a free vase starting at $29.99. For details, go to 1-800-Flowers.com. Click the radio icon. Enter code Dan. Do it today. For all the latest headlines and information, tune in to the SportsCenter on ESPN Radio all throughout the day.
What do you do with that Palmeiro story?
I mean, it's nice. Gets to play with his son later on in his career. You know, even if he doesn't play that well, he's hanging around his son every day. They're hitting the diamond together. They're going to work together, like you and your dad. It's nice.
You're acting like he's not going to hit 285.
Well, he's going to lead the league in hits. Like, he's going to lead the league. Put it on the poll, Guillermo. Is Rafael Palmeiro going to lead the Railroaders in hits? Were they the Railroaders?
Yeah, the Claiborne Railroaders.
I got to tell you, I've been distracted for the last 10 minutes because Stugotz and Guillermo are they've got their eyes on Ryan Hollins, and I don't know what's happening exactly. I'm confused, but they've been hatching and plotting and scheming, and I don't understand what's happening here.
We think here that we have an opportunity. There are no opinion shows on right now. There's a re-air of First Take. We're on. There's no other radio shows on. SportsCenter's on. No one's giving opinions there. So we feel like this 76ers thing, it's all yours. Like, you have it. You have the opinion. But the one guy...
I can have the opinion of the Sixers are going to be the first team ever to rally from 3-0. The opinion is still available.
The one guy we're concerned about, and Guillermo can kind of take it from here, is Ryan Hollins.
That's why you guys kept saying the Ryan Hollins watch.
Well, that's the thing, is that you have theoretically an hour here. However, you're not ready to do it yet. But we know if Hollins appears on the screen, he's going to give that take. So we are on level 4 Hollins watch right now. And Dan, I don't know if you're going to be comfortable or not. If Hollins appears on the screen, you're going to have to kind of blurt it out.
I'm not comfortable doing it yet, saying it out loud yet for everybody, but I heard you guys planning to have Ryan Hollins on hold as a guest on our show for 4 segments just to distract him so that he can't go on SportsCenter and give the opinion.
What I think we'd like to do is have Allison call Ryan Hollins, act like she's interested in what it is Ryan Hollins has to say, and then say the guys want to talk to you about this, put him on hold, but we never actually get to Ryan Hollins. Therefore, he's on hold for our show. We know we're never taking him, but we also know he's not going on another show this hour.
Yeah, we need to essentially block Ryan Hollins from going somewhere else. Now,
why is he the only one we've identified as a problem?
He's the one we're most concerned with at this time.
Yes,
now, if we do go through with the Ryan Hollins plan, where we get him on hold, we just need kind of hijinks and tomfoolery to ensue a little bit each segment, and then we're like, oh, Ryan, we'll get you next segment. And then we kind of just slowly keep pushing.
So we're going to filibuster like they do on C-SPAN sometimes.
All while Ryan Hollins is pushing away producers that are trying to get him on camera because
to
he keeps
get
saying,
him to say
no, I'm sorry, I'm
now,
on hold.
do we assume that he's going to do that just because he used to play for the Sixers?
No, but this is the type of thing Ryan Hollins would do. If everyone's saying X, he's going to go Y.
Classic
okay,
Hollins.
it's classic Hollins, and what we're telling you is, and you don't seem ready or prepared to make this to step out of.
How
this
long
limb.
has Ryan Hollins worked for the network? I feel like he's just auditioning for a job right now, and this is the thing that would carry him. You predict correctly that the Sixers, is Ryan Hollins now at our network officially? Has he been here for many years, or is he one of those athletes who's coming through the car wash where you're auditioning for post-career work on television?
He actually never played for the Sixers. That's one of the 3 teams he never played for. He was on the Celtics.
Okay, so why are we thinking he was going to pick the Sixers in that series? Why are we scared of Ryan Hollins? Ryan
Hollins says stuff. That's why. He says stuff.
Ryan is going to Hollins.
He's always a second away from saying that thing. And we need that thing this time to not be your thing.
Sometimes it could be the Transformers are racist. Sometimes it could be the Sixers are coming back from 3-0.
You never know.
Wacky.
So if we get him on the line, can we just ask him, hey, do you think the Sixers are going to win?
Well, no.
No, because
you're missing the point of Hollins watch. Oh my God.
What do you mean? Why would we bring him on? We're trying to keep him off.
Why would we give him the platform? We're trying to keep away from him.
Well, because I think if you just ask him off air, hey, are you interested? He might say, no, I think the Celtics are going to win. And
we don't really care. We just don't want to give him the opportunity. Like, that's it. You might be right, but you also might be wrong.
By the way, we're jumping through all these hoops for you, Dan. As you work up the courage to actually deliver this prediction.
Yes.
I have an idea.
What is it?
This is what we do.
What?
To old Ryan Hollins. We get him on.
Yeah.
We keep him on hold a little bit.
Right.
We bring, let's whisper so he doesn't hear it. Then we ask him in the break the question when he's not on the air.
That's what I meant.
So we get him to say it, and he thinks that he said it somewhere, but no one heard it but us.
Oh, I see. To trick him and pretend.
And then he won't say it anywhere else because he said it, but he didn't really say it because no one heard it.
We have a pact, though, right? Like, we're sworn to secrecy here.
Don't tell anyone.
No, there is no pact. We're making this up as we go along.
Okay.
What pact is there?
I'm all
sorry.
in. Blood oath. Everybody cut your hand.
No pact.
Why is there a pact?
Blood oath. Cut yourself.
Okay.
Anybody got a knife?
Well, what's the pact we're making?
That when he says it, he didn't really say it. We know that, but no one else will.
Well, we've got to trick him.
We need to pretend to do a show in the commercial break where we bring on Ryan Hollins.
Right.
And we ask him the question. Yes. He says that thing, but no one gets it. Why are we whispering?
What's the pact that we made? I still don't understand the pact.
The pact that we made is Hollins might say it before you say it.
You're
but none
not
of
a
us.
subtle whisper.
That sounds like just a review of what's happened so far.
It doesn't even sound like you're talking quiet.
I don't understand.
You're going to say it. Hollins is going to say it. But everyone's going to start fighting over it.
You've stopped pacting, and now you're just the sports whisperer.
I also don't think you get the plan.
We don't think that you understand what
Hollins
anyone
never said it.
You don't understand anything that's happening right now.
Every crew needs an idiot, I guess.
Thank you.
Aquí lo que importa es el catch.
So we're all clear.
What kind of plan is this? The guy just butts into the room, and he's like, yeah, I get 80%, right?
You're going to have to talk to Hollins during the break. You understand that, right?
Midweek growth showed up and bit you on the face.
Are we all cutting ourselves because I'm bleeding?
Ryan! I don't know how else to say this, so I'll just say it.
What is it, Linda?
I think we should see other people.
Are you breaking up with me? On a roller coaster?
Well, we do have a lot of fun. Maybe we should stay together.
An emotional roller coaster? Surprising. What's not surprising? How much you could save by switching to Geico.
I just need a little me time.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Dan Le Batard.
Is this a middle school show or a big boy show?
Stugotz.
It's kind of a middle school show.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
One of the first pieces, major journalism pieces that I ever did was on Rafael Palmeiro. And he was a Miami kid, is a Miami guy, and now I'm sure the butt of many jokes after being one of the guys stained by the steroid scandal that didn't actually recover from it. There was a time that there were reports that Rafael Palmeiro had become such a shamed fugitive from fame that he looked like Tom Hanks in Castaway, deserted island, just everything that he worked for in his life in terms of identity, being a guy who gets to 3,000 hits and is an excellent baseball player. Stripped, tarnished at the end in a way that had no integrity. So you can imagine the scars of that. And in that piece that I did with Rafael Palmeiro, I remember the conversations that we had that I found heartbreaking that he didn't, which is how difficult his father was on him, pushing him toward greatness, heckling him in eighth grade, ninth grade, climbing up on a fence when he'd hit a ball off of the fence. His father would be behind the railing saying if he was a real man, he'd hit it over the damn fence or he'd pull the ball. It got so bad that Rafael Palmeiro's wife would intercept those phone calls after Palmeiro has gone 4 for 5 off Dwight Gooden because his father had some sort of criticism that would be mentally debilitating. So from that prism, the idea that Rafael Palmeiro has chosen to wander minor league baseball fields with his own son in the name of supporting whatever it is that his son is doing, that is an amazing transformation. I understand why it would be the butt of your jokes. I understand why Rafael Palmeiro at 53 playing for the Railroaders would be an absurdity. But what I'm telling you is that when Rafael Palmeiro's dad was 53, right, what he was doing is making phone calls to his son that his wife had to intercept because they were so cruel, sure, and because of how her Hall of Fame husband, or would have been Hall of Fame husband if not for everything that came with the steroid scandal, how wrecked he would be after these conversations with his father. So the idea, I've been wanting to talk to Rafael Palmeiro forever about all of this, but nobody can get a hold of Rafael Palmeiro. He's hiding in the shadows. He's had a weird career, except for the one time he came out to do erectile dysfunction commercials out of nowhere.
Needed the money, yeah.
I think that happened before he needed the money.
Oh.
And I don't think he needs the money.
Stugotz, why would you leap there? What? I was just telling a heartwarming story, or attempting to.
Well, and
you just jumped in with your only contribution of he needed the money.
I mean, why else would he have done it? I was just thinking about it. It is a nice story. It's a heartwarming story, and you're right. He's doing it better with his son than his father did with him, but it does steal some of the thunder away from your son, right? Like, Rafael Palmeiro becomes the story of that team now.
You took the reported, journalistic, heartfelt story that I just told about fathers and sons and found the only two places where you could criticize it.
Yeah. That's what I do.
He needed the money. Yeah. He's taking the shine from his son.
I mean, he's on an island.
You were the most despicable person in the history of broadcast words.
Well, thank you. I mean, listen, just hear me out. I mean, you know, he's on an island.
What are you holding in your right hand? What is this crumpled up piece of paper that you just fished out of the trash can while doing your job this impeccably? No, why is there a crumpled piece of paper in your hand? Why? Explain to me.
I was trying to find the name of his team, the Claiborne Railroaders.
Oh, so you can make the railroader jokes that were the next piece in your toolbox?
Really railroading his son, man.
There it is. There it is. So you were looking for the crumpled piece of paper. Yeah. There it is. Stugotz's career. And watch it. You just put some fertilizer on the crumpled piece of paper. It's like a magic act. And like, woo, a beautiful pink flower grows from the sewer. I hate you so much.
Thank you. I mean, I don't know. I love you too.
He needs the money.
Why else would you come out? I mean, you're on a deserted island forever. You come out and you shoot those commercials. I mean,
the commercials were while he was playing. We corrected you already.
Oh, well, no, we corrected you. You made the mistake.
We have a couple Ryan Hollins updates.
Oh, no.
You are flirting with disaster, my friend. Yeah. Billy informs me what?
2 hours ago, Ryan Hollins put up a picture of him eating at the ESPN cafe in Bristol in a suit. So he's around.
But do we know if he's willing to pick the Sixers? No one's brave enough to pick the Sixers to rally from down 3-0. Somebody's got to do it. At some point in basketball history, somebody's got to be able to do it. And the circumstances are ripe in this particular matchup for it to be the first time it's ever happened. It's why the Sixers, I think they opened at a mild favorite. I think they opened at -1. I saw it someplace -1.
Yeah, okay. The line that I saw was at Pick'em, but
you had it at Pick'em. It moved a little bit. At one point, I was surprised that a 3 against a 2 on the road, down 3-1, would be in any way. You saw what happened last night. The basketball games last night, the point spreads were 11 and 12. And look at what happened in the games. 9 and 10. Like right there, you're dying with every basket because at the end of the game, what happened is what everyone thought was going to happen, which is it's going to be right there at double digit. We don't know how we're going to get there, but you know that somebody is going to get to double digits, and then you're going to be dying at the end with your free throws and some guy you've never heard of, hucking up some sort of mid-range jumper.
Vegas kind of knows what they're doing.
Right, a little bit. Yes. But so on this one,
yeah.
I was surprised to see, oh, wow, that's a lot of respect for the Sixers. The money, that's a lot of respect for the Sixers.
Yeah.
They think this is a bit of a mirage. The bettors, I'm not sure how good the odds are you would get right now on Sixers coming back in that series. I don't know that you'd get value there. If you would have gotten it at down 3-0, I don't know if you'd get value right now or feel like you'd be getting value betting Sixers down 3-1 because that's a bet where you expect to lose your money.
Yeah, and if they get it to 3-3, they still have to win a road playoff game.
Which 7. No one ever wins. Right. You've got Ben Simmons, 21 years old, and doesn't want to shoot the basketball. You've got him going on the road in Game 7. That's why it never happens. It's why it's so improbable.
Yeah, there's only a few outliers. The Jazz did it, I think, last year, but it's really difficult to do. Hardest thing in that sport to do, I think.
But I believe that the audience thinks that it's possible because you don't believe in the Celtics team. Because who's their star? Like, who is it? You're used to playoff teams that get to the finals, even if it's in a weak Eastern Conference, you're used to being able to say that team and its star, with very few exceptions. Maybe the Detroit Pistons of Chauncey Billups, but
it's Jason Tatum right now.
I mean, it is right now, right? But it's also Terry Rozier right now.
No, I know. And he had a bad game last game, and look what happened. So, but Tatum is the guy. I mean, 6 consecutive games of 20-plus points as a rookie, Dan. Like, very few guys have done that. I think it's LeBron and Jordan.
I know, but Stugotz, somebody for them has to get it for them in order to win.
But he's been getting it efficiently, man. Like, he's been playing
I'm not saying he's not good. Right. I'm just talking about why it is that the money isn't decidedly in the favor of Jason Tatum and the Boston Celtics when all of history supports that the Celtics are going to win that series. And yet I can't bring myself to do it.
You're I'm
so close.
You're really close. Hollins is in Bristol, man. He's he's around live microphones. He can pop on a TV set whenever he wants. I'm telling you, better get this thing in, man.
He was on Mike and Mike yesterday, and it seemed like as though he was starting to build up to that prediction.
Yeah. This is one of the most exciting young teams that we've seen in a really long time.
I mean, look at that.
Oh, no. He is getting close to it.
I know.
He is getting close to it. I don't know what to do. I'm too scared of it, though. I can't be publicly out there. Especially, guys, here's something you haven't considered. These Boston apes that don't understand the joke. You guys have not considered that the Boston apes are just going to hear Batard predicted the Sixers. Look at what an idiot he is. He doesn't know anything. So I'm scared of that.
They're in your head?
I'm very scared.
Really? They're right?
Yes.
When have you ever cared?
This one is the one. I never have before now. It makes me feel soft. It makes me feel like a coward. This is the one. I'll always be willing to fight Boston. I'll always be willing to fight anyone who comes from Boston at me with their Bostonianism. But on this one, I'm scared.
Good idea. Let's set up Hollins to say it. Let him deal with the Boston fans.
Oh, no, it'll be worse for him. Trust, it'll be worse for him. I don't know why, but it'll be worse for him.
Dan Batard.
Finally, Jane's Addiction frontman, Perry Farrell.
Stugotz.
Perry Farrell. Farrell. Perry Farrell.
This is the Dan Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
I don't know if any of you are bird watchers, you like to watch animals in the wild, but you just saw some classic Discovery Channel Stugotz in his natural habitat stuff. Can't pronounce Khan, pronounce it Canes, lashes out at Bill and Ted's. Like that's textbook note hitting from Stugotz. It's musical in nature. You watch it in the wild. You guys should be thrilled that you got to see it. He pronounced Cannes, the famous film festival, as Canes, and then got mad at Bill and Ted.
Canes Film Festival. Listen, whether I said it right or not, I still would have gotten mad at Bill and Ted. No one wants to see that movie. I mean, it's honest, the thing about it. No one.
I mean, you said it was a much anticipated third installment. I mean, you read it. I heard you say it.
Well, that's the way it was written. I mean, if I wrote it, which I never would, but if I did, I would not write it that way. I would write, hey, Bill and Ted, they're making a third installment. No one wants to see it.
How's that even going to work in 2018? Because they were in a time-traveling phone booth. Where are they going to find one of those now?
Well, put it on the poll. Are you here for a third installment of Bill and Ted's?
It's got to be funny because they're 30 years older now. What has happened in their lives? It's going to be hilarity is going to ensue. Are they the same Bill and Ted, or did they get jobs and cut their hair? Is one a lawyer?
Guillermo, put that on the poll as well.
Is one selling life insurance?
Not any of that. Just will hilarity ensue? Yes or no? Will hilarity ensue? In the interim, speaking of hilarity, Billy, you want to read for the people that story you were telling about Ichiro?
Yeah, this is from Peter Gammons of The Athletic. So I'll just read directly. One morning in spring training 2017, he was in the coach's room looking at his cell phone text messages. He's talking about Ichiro. Ichiro told his coaches about one message he had just received from a number he didn't recognize. The guy said he'd gotten Ichiro's number from Alex Rodriguez and that he wanted to come meet him and study his stretching system. What's the guy's name? Asked one of the coaches. Ichiro strolled to the end of the text. Some guy named Tom Brady. Who the bleep is Tom Brady?
Some guy named Tom Brady asked Ichiro about his stretching. Ichiro, one thing Ichiro has done that is fairly amazing in his career and being around still in baseball in his 40s, this has to be part of the reason. He spends most of his outfield time stretching. The downtime where he's just standing there, he spends a great deal of it stretching, so he's basically doing 3 hours of yoga a night.
Brady and A-Rod. Really makes you think, huh?
That what? They're talking about what it's like to date famous people or be married to famous people?
I'll leave it to your imagination. Thank you
for just throwing that fish on my lap, leaving it to my imagination, saying nothing else, and in saying nothing else, saying nothing at all, and yet accusing both an ESPN employee and Tom Brady, if people are to take your insinuations. Why is Ryan Hollins
big problem
on the television right now? Is that a re-air?
That's not Ryan.
That's not Ryan Hollins. That's a big, big fine.
Huge fine. $500.
I got to be honest here. What just happened there was I was not confusing two black guys. That's not what happened there. What happened there is I saw an excitement in the studio and I looked over to my right and saw pointing. I don't know what you guys were pointing about. Excitement and enthusiasm, and I thought it's because you guys wanted me to break into some Ryan Hollins coverage. I had not actually seen who I was looking at before that.
That is a deflection, because the only person in these two studios that was pointing was Sausage Fingers over here, and you followed his lead, because whatever you did, you were following his lead, and he was absolutely doing what you said you weren't.
Well, that's not fair.
It may not be fair, but I feel like it's accurate on what it is that happened. All I know is there was a lot of enthusiasm, and I got disoriented. I was in the middle of trying to walk back. Here's the thing, okay?
I always point to the screen when David Lloyd is hosting.
I want to take a janitorial inventory of what just happened here in our studio. It reminds me of the Jonathan Coachman moment, although the Jonathan Coachman moment, we were not quite as relaxed as an entity as we are now. So let me explain to you what just happened so that you can glorify the mighty incompetence that is the cartoon character Stugotz, who will carry us all, as he already has, to greatness. I was in the process of trying to walk back what Stugotz said about ESPN employee Alex Rodriguez and Tom Brady. Recklessly just threw it out there and, did jazz hands and did his thing.
Whoa, the A-Rod thing is known. Yeah.
And I just said leave it to your imagination.
That's right. So I'm trying to walk that back for Stugotz so we can continue to remain employed at the network and he can continue to cash those checks. And in the middle of that, Stugotz pointed to the screen.
David Lloyd.
To confuse Ryan Hollins with C.J. McCollum.
That's all on me. Listen, there are a couple of things you can't blame me for, and one of them is your imagination.
Play the sound of Stugotz with Jonathan Coachman. This is an actual thing that happened on our air that was handled very seriously by way of apology on our show. Stugotz, you should probably apologize here. We should apologize for what happened last segment. It went off the rails on us. What do you want to say?
I will apologize. You don't need to apologize for anything. I need to apologize. They are my weekend observations. I said what I said. I had no idea, and I apologize to Jonathan Coachman, who has tweeted at us, and he's upset and has every right to be upset. I honestly, and anyone who knows me will understand this and believe this, I honestly, until after the segment ended and we went to commercial break, had no idea that Jonathan Coachman was black.
All right. The cadence on that is musical. It is musical. It's the most musical thing in the history of our show that is not that Dwayne Wade clip. The way Guillermo put this on the poll, which one of these is better? The musical way that this city councilwoman butchers the introduction of Dwayne Wade with all of the syllable counts you need to arrive at the punchline at the very end is this sound.
He's calm, collected, has a will to win because his name, of course, is Wade Jones.
His name? Who that is? The cadence is perfect. It's musical. I claim it's the most musical thing in the history of this show. I have a new nominee right here, having seen the cadence of how Stugotz. Now, keep in mind, this wasn't a punchline at the time. It's only a punchline in retrospect. This was a confusion that actually happened at Stugotz's house while he and his wife were discussing how handsome Jonathan Coachman and Max Brados are. Stugotz, you should probably apologize here. We should apologize for what happened last segment. It went off the rails on us. What do you want to say?
I will apologize. You don't need to apologize for anything. I need to apologize. They are my weekend observations. I said what I said. I had no idea, and I apologize to Jonathan Coachman, who has tweeted at us, and he's upset and has every right to be upset. I honestly, and anyone who knows me will understand this and believe this, I honestly, until after the segment ended and we went to commercial break, had no idea that Jonathan Coachman was black.
Mike shouted in the last sentence, this is my favorite part. Anyone who knows me would know that this is the most. I thought a black guy wasn't black. That's just me. Anyone who knows me
knows that how this could happen to me.
You understand. I mean, it's one of the greatest apologies ever because, yes, of course, we all understand.
All this because I pointed at David Lloyd.
Dan Le Batard.
Good work today. That was a fun show.
Stugotz.
It was also intergalactically stupid.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
Gonna update the polls in a second, but first we have a stat of the day for you. A fresh one. Fresh out of the oven. Yes, Mike, please. The short version of short intro to stat of the day.
Start of the day, start of the day. It is the start of the day. Start of the day, start of the day. It is the start of the day. Start of the day, start of the day. It is the start of the day. Start of the day, start of the day. It is the start of the day.
The New York Mets just batted out of order. It's a thing that just happened in Major League Baseball.
You could have caught it on ESPN Plus.
That's right. ESPN Plus bringing you incompetence of the highest order. Runner in scoring position, batted out of order, inning over.
Perfect team for me.
New York Mets.
We deserve each other.
Guillermo, look it up for me, please. When's the last time a team batted out of order?
I can tell you this. Anthony DeComo, who covers the Mets, he's a beat writer for MLB.com. He's at the game, and he tweeted out he's never seen it before in a professional baseball game.
It's just amazing. I've never seen it before in a T-ball game.
It forfeited a runner in scoring position.
I can maybe understand it. If double switches late in the game, you have a lot of pinch hitters, a lot of bullpen usage.
First inning.
But this happened in the first inning.
Yeah, I should have said that probably. First inning. I mean, I don't even understand what in fiction I could give you that would be more incompetent than that.
Brewers did it against the Nationals in 2016.
Okay.
In the first inning?
Still, whatever. It's not as rare an occurrence as I thought it was. It's a clerical error. Guillermo, is baseball made worse or better by a clerical error? Go ahead and put it at Le Batard Show on Twitter, because I'm going to argue better. What do you have for us in the rest of the polls, Stugotz?
The Twitter poll at Le Batard Show is brought to you by JCPenney. Shop gifts for all the moms in your life at JCPenney. Save up to 70% off fine jewelry after an extra 20% off with JCPenney credit card and coupon. Style and value for all. What happened?
Mike Ryan just whispered into my ear, that is not Ryan Hollins on your television to your right. He's just saying that about everyone on all of the televisions.
David Lloyd again? Are the big salad bags good? You know the big salad bag? Like in Publix, they have the salad bag. It's all the ingredients in one big plastic bag. You just shake it up, pour it out into a bowl. It is delicious. Great croutons. 64% of the audience said no. I mean, they're wrong, and it's healthy. Are the Golics fake football players? I think Guillermo said that.
I absolutely did not say that.
It was a caller.
Oh, it was a caller. Sorry, Guillermo. 76% of the audience said yes. Uh-oh. If the leaf blower, is the leaf blower a national morning time menace? 90% of the audience said yes, it is. Is the eagle overrated? 53% of the audience said no. What's more impressive, an eagle landing on a pitcher's shoulder or Kobe not flinching when Matt Barnes pretended to inbound the ball off his face?
An important one.
71% of the audience, Mike, went with Kobe.
Mm-hmm.
Wheelbarrow or wheelbarrow? 58% of the audience said wheelbarrow. Do you want a third installment of Bill and Ted? 63% of the audience said no. Those are the polls.
At Le Batard Show is how you reach us on Twitter if you want to vote overnight on any of those very important polls. Also, before we go, the Sixers are about to become the first team ever to rally from down 3-0.
Yeah!